Namaste Dosto! Welcome to Desified Dish. My name is Reiko. So tonight's dinner was inspired by a friend. I recently had all this leftover spinach and I wasn't really sure what to do with it. But then my lovely friend Shafak, salam by the way, suggested that I make Jhatpat Aloo Palak. So Jhatpat is an Urdu word which means sort of fast or quick, in that you can make this dish really quickly. Although I'm usually quite slow, so we'll see. Aloo is potato and palak is spinach. So I think it's going to be a really winning combination and I can't wait to try it. So let's cue the music and get to cooking. We'll start the prep with our aloo palak. So I'm just going to take a peeler and peel them. Cut them into 2.5 centimeter slices and then cut those into cubes of the same size. Now I'm going to add my potato into a pot of already boiling water, and this will probably take about 5 to 7 minutes to soften, but we'll check on them later. I've got one large red onion here, which I'm going to cut the ends off, remove the skin, cut in half, cut the half into slices, and then finally chop it. Time to check back in on our boiled potatoes, so let's have a look and see if they're fork tender, and they are. Perfect. Alright, so we'll turn off the heat and drain the water. Next up are our fresh spices, these Thai green chilies. So I'm just going to cut the ends off and I'm going to throw them in my blender. We're not going to need to cut these anymore because we're going to be making a puree. Likewise with our 3 medium tomatoes, I'm not going to need to cut these much, so I'm just going to cut them into quarters and then throw them in the blender. So I've got about 3 centimeters of ginger here. I'm just going to remove the skin and, you guessed it, in the blender it goes. And then with my garlic, so I've got about 2 large cloves here, would probably be about 6 normal. I'm just going to cut the ends off, remove the skin, and yep, in the blender. One wave of the hand and the whole becomes a puree. What? That didn't work. Let me try that again. Phew, better. Next, I'm going to grab out my mortar and pestle and add to it 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds and crush the life out. Now I'll measure out half a cup of dahi or yogurt and then whisk this real good until it's nice and smooth. At long last, we're onto the palak of our aloo palak. So I've got about 600 grams or so of already cut spinach leaves here, and I'm going to just bunch them up and then roughly cut them. And one last item of prep, I've just put together some roti dough, so I'm just going to leave this to rest while I get onto the cooking. With the prep done, it's time for cooking proper. So I'm going to add my saute pan and then turn on the heat to medium and let the pan heat up before I get started. With my pan nice and hot, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of canola oil and heat this through, and then add 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds and let these sputter for about 10 seconds, making sure they get evenly cooked. Then in goes my lifeless coriander seeds, and again I'll cook these for about 10 seconds in the oil. With our whole spices well tempered, I'm going to go ahead and now add in my onions, and I'm going to cook these until they're translucent, about 4 to 5 minutes or so. Then in goes our pureed tomato, chili, ginger, garlic, and mix this in real well. Now in goes all my powdered spices. 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and 1 teaspoon of garam masala. Give this all a good mix and make sure that those spices are getting nicely roasted for about 30 seconds. Going to cook this for about 4 to 5 minutes until the oil starts to separate from the tomato. Now in goes the palak. So there's so much of it to add in here, you're going to probably need to do it in a couple of goes depending on the size of your pan, but it will start to wilt almost immediately in the heat, so give it a good stir and then you can easily add in some more. Once you've managed to get it all in there, give everything a good mix, and then we're going to cook this for about 8 to 10 minutes or until the oil separates again. Now we'll add some zestiness to the flavor by adding 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Again, give everything a good mix. And now, like the namesake, let's introduce the aloo to the palak. So add in the potato and give everything a real good mix. We want to make sure it's well flavored with all those beautiful spices. Now we want to turn down the heat to low and let's add in our yogurt, and you guessed it, mix it well. And now we arrive at our last step. I'm going to just add some chopped coriander. Now I'll pop the lid on and leave it for 2 minutes. 2 minutes later and off comes the lid, and oh, doesn't that just look divine? why not have a closer look? This might not have come together as quickly as the name suggested, but if it tastes as good as it smells, to be honest, I don't care. While you weren't looking, I covered up some roti, so let's go ahead and plate and serve this delectable dish. So on the top I've added a bit of extra yogurt, and I'm also going to add this chopped red chili for a bit of extra spice and colour. Alright, we're back and the cooking is done, so I present to you Jhatpat Aloo Palak. And it has so many amazing smells. You can smell the spinach, you can smell the potato, you can smell the tomato-y sort of gravy that was also in there. Smells delicious. So let's go ahead and give it a taste, shall we? Gonna grab a nice big chunk of potato and make sure I get plenty of the palak as well. Oh, that is amazing. There is so much flavor in this, and it's really, really spicy too, which is just perfect. This is definitely one I'm going to make again. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like, and if you want to see what I get up to next, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.